Hello, I'm Mike T, and welcome to my training video, Adobe Photoshop CC 2015, the interface. As the title suggests, I've created an introduction to the Creative Cloud interface that explains the 5 work areas you'll be using to create your images. By better understanding its work area, you will become more confident in using the Photoshop tools. I'll get started. When you first open Photoshop, it is really overwhelming. There are too many icons. And the question is it organized? Yes, it is. The interface consists of 5 work areas. I'm going to show you each one of them, and then we'll do a quick review at the end. The Photoshop interface is divided into 5 work areas: the menu bar, the tool options bar, the toolbox, the canvas, and the panels. I will show you, in addition to that, the Windows menu where you can add or remove panels. Once you finish, you'll find it much easier to work with. Let's take a look at the first work area, the menu bar. When you first open Photoshop, you will see them at the very top as they are highlighted. There are 12 main functions, and each one of them functions has sub-functions below them. You will learn them as the time goes by. The Tool Options bar is the second menu option at the top of your Photoshop and is highlighted in blue. This Options bar contains the various settings that relate to the current tool that you're using to do your Photoshop work. For example, if you're using the Clone Stamp tool, this menu bar might look different than if you were using the Paintbrush tool. So when you click any of the tools on your very left-hand side on the toolbox, you will notice the Options bar also changes accordingly. I have some exercises that you can see how this box is working in my basic Photoshop retouching on my website. This work area is the toolbox. The toolbox contains selection tools, and they're highlighted on the left-hand side. There are 25 of them. Those tools are for painting and editing and selecting boxes and viewing different tools. I have a couple basic lessons on my website that you will find very useful. Now let me explain what the canvas is. Basically, the canvas is the area where you're editing your image. So your cursor will be inside that canvas, and that's the terminology we use to identify anything that is happening within that area. The last work area we're going to look at is the panels. Those are situated on the right-hand side as I have highlighted by those arrows. These panels come up when you're opening an image to do your work. In my basic retouching Photoshop exercise, you will see more of that. Also, you will notice that some of the panels have sub-panels within them. One last thing I'd like to show you is the window, how to select panels. Because Photoshop has many panels on the right-hand side, they can be overwhelming. So if you click on the window command at the top of your Photoshop menu, you will be able to select or deselect any panels that you wish to work with. Here's a quick review of the main 5 menu areas that I've shown you so far. We have the menu bar at the very top. Right below it is the Tool Options bar. On the left-hand side is the toolbox with 25 functions. In the middle of the screen is your canvas, and on the right-hand side are your panels. Those are your 5 work areas you're going to learn to use. Here's the good news. Even though there are dozens of buttons and functions in the Photoshop interface, you might only have to use 3 or 4 tools to do some basic editing with your next photo. For example, in my basic course that I'm listing on my website, I'm only using about 4 functions. The arrows that you see over there, for example, on the left, I might use the stamp tool on the toolbar. And up at the top toolbox, I might use the size of the brush and the opacity, and also I might pick up a filter. And that's it. I hope this short video on the Photoshop interface has made it a little easier for you to open and use Photoshop, and has removed some of the fears associated with the overwhelming functionality that is built into this program. Remember, you don't have to use all the tools. Try out my basic retouching Photoshop workshop from my website, and you'll find that it's not as bad as it looks. Hope you enjoy, and drop me off a note if you like. Bye for now.